Hello, Dr. Carolina. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, and thank you so much for welcoming me on your show so warmly.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, Dr. Carolina, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Doctor, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, Dr. Carolina, you are on this platform right now because you did invest it in yourself. And oftentimes, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, doctors, a couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it. And the leaves on it were all dry, and I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Dr. Carolina, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree, you see. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, Dr. Carolina. I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day, and I was so, so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Dr. Carolina that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to say no to you. And get into it a little bit about you, the beautiful stuff that you're doing. I found those stuff very profound and inspiring. So I've got to say thank you so very much for doing that yourself. And secondly, thank you for being here. I truly appreciate you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those beautiful words. And wow, now I want a mango.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's get right into it, Doctor. You see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Doctor, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge alone, but the application of it. And you see, Dr. Carolina, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness, ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm so excited to have the incredible Dr. Caroline on the show is for the sake of the audience. They say, Doctor, we're living in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So those folks trust me for quality, high opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Doctor, that our conversation is going to be impactful and insightful. So, for that reason, Dr. Carolina, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Dr. Carolina got here. And afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Doctor, over to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm where I am today because I had a lot of struggles in my personal life, and I tried a lot of forms of therapies and a lot of forms of therapy. And I found that once I started working with the subconscious, hence hypnotherapy, I really saw the needle move. And as you correctly said, or I agree, right, that knowledge is really what you need first, right? You need to acknowledge things in yourself first. You need to own your own narrative before you can heal it and transform it and whatever you want to do, right? So with hypnosis or hypnotherapy, you can really do that because you can access things and parts of you that you can't in a regular day to day. So that's why hypnotherapy is so powerful. And in my life, it really moved the needle. And so that's why I really know I can, you know, help and I can give back best by working on that level. I can make the biggest impact because I have experienced it on my own body, in my own life.
Mm,
And, all those, the mango tree story, and I mean, everything is so inspiring, right? And the point you tried to make, I think if I compared it with that story, right, it would really be like you say, the mango tree doesn't need to be taken out of its environment, right? It just needs to
right,
be given, right? Like, I don't
right,
know what a
right,
mango tree needs.
right, right.
Assume it's water and sun and I don't know, maybe some fertilizer. I don't know, right? I'm not I'm not I don't have a mango tree. But the powerful thing is that when we are given as human beings, right? When we are given what we need to flourish, then we can flourish. When we are not given
True.
that at our life, the good thing is we can be given that later on in life too. And it really has the same effect. It really transforms that in the younger self because we always have access to that inner child that we once were, because that inner, that younger 5-year-old, that younger 10-year-old is still in us, right? In all of us. I mean, the 5-year-old me doesn't just leave my body when I turn 6, right? So really all in us. That's why healing is never too late, right? And transformation and acknowledging is never too late. And yeah, that's, I guess, it turned a little bit like, because you asked me about me, but I'm
Yeah.
very interwoven with what I do. So yeah, that's how I got where
Amazing.
I am.
Amazing.
I am in the US is because, and I that's also really connected with the work I do, because I'm sure all of us have experienced those moments where even without hypnotherapy, right? But we have sometimes access to that powerful part of us, with when we are totally overjoyed or when something totally out of the ordinary happens and we are just in a high feeling of high, right? Um, that we have access to that. And I remember, right, I actually was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, on the Austrian version of that show. And
Mm,
that was one of my way to actually manifest one of my dreams, moving to New York and, living here. And I've been here for 15
mm,
years. So why I'm saying that also is because it was life changing for me. But I also remember having access to that part of me where I could create on that subconscious level, where,
mm.
where you suspend all the blocks that you might have in your head that holds you back and that say this or that, this have that have those installed patterns of thinking that might hold you back, if that makes sense.
I tell you a lot, a lot. But there is a spot I'm curious. Okay. So what first drew you to subconscious based work?
I mean, I think really that I was always drawn to it. There was never really oh, now I need to do this. I was just always drawn to it. I was drawn to
Mm,
dream work, anything that is digging deeper into the psyche, right? I mean, some might say that's not it, but when I was young, I was already drawn to astrology, right? Some might say that's not scientific enough or whatever, judgment there might be. But I was always drawn in some deeper understanding, and hence deeper work and deeper, because like you said, once you understand, on a deeper level. You can hold space on a deeper level. You can hold space for others on a deeper level. You can understand on a deeper level, right? Depth, I think really brings satisfaction into our life also. And depth brings character, right? Brings a depth of emotion also, right? If we have a depth developed in us, then we can also feel deeper and feel our happiness deeper. And so we are we can be more full of ourselves if we develop that depth, right? So I was really always striving to that, and I was always trying to overcome my own blocks in the way. So, and at one point, hypnotherapy was presented to me, and it just resonated with me on a very strong
Mm,
level.
I got that. I got that. It has always been a part of you. I got that. So what about this one? Mm, what transformation do you see most often in your clients?
The transformation I almost always see in my clients is that they say, "Oh, I feel lighter.
Mm,
I feel like a shoulders." Because the thing is, not a lot of people know that before they do the sessions, is that hypnotherapy is work with the body, really. We don't work with the mind, right? Some people think it's very abstract, but it's not abstract, that's all. It's really the change is happening in your body. That's why it's for real and forever, because it's a transformation. It's in your body, right? In our mind, we can rationalize, we can suppress, we can lie to ourselves even. So our mind can change, right? I hear a new fact tomorrow and I know it's different, right? And I think differently. So I can say today, oh, tomorrow I'm going to go for a run. And then tomorrow I find 100 good reasons why I can't run today, right? So mind can always change and should change, right? In my opinion. And body too, of course, but the body, what is stored in the body, if I have a transformation in the body, it's going to be my new me. It's like that groundedness, right? If I let go of something on a bodily level, if I let go of part of a guilt or of anxiety on a bodily level, if I get that feeling of groundedness into my body, then I feel lighter. I let go, right? And I can move forward in a totally different way. Hence, then
in
my
a totally
life,
different way.
right? And that, of course, affects thoughts also, right? Because if I'm so much lighter in my body, then I won't have the same thoughts anymore, because there is the strong connection of body and mind, as we all know at this point, right?
All right, I got that. So what do most people misunderstand about hypnotherapy? Now, when it comes to hypnotherapy, what do most people misunderstand?
I don't know if I don't know if I have a lot to do with people that misunderstand it, because people that come to me already know some of it, or they are open. But what I think the misunderstanding often is that it's hard for people to give up the control in the sessions, right? And the more you can give up control and access that vulnerable space, the more healing can happen, the more release can happen, the more transformation can happen. And I think that might be a misthinking of some people, right? Because we are taught, and in our regular life, in the conscious area of our life, I mean, control is a part of it, right? We need to control certain ways, things. We need to control also what we express, right? To be in a certain way in relationships with people, um, and to be included in society in a certain way. But I think that that is what I would say, that people still think they need to work, right? I often say, you don't need to do anything. You let things come to you. But I think a lot of people think, oh, they need to give me a scene and they need to give something, but they actually just need to let go and let it happen. And that's something that we are not taught really in life, right? Nobody teaches that in school. So it's also not hard to understand why it's hard. But I would say that's a misunderstanding, that people come again and often and think, oh, now they need to do good work here too, right? Because they need to do good work there and there and there. And to gain something here and to grow, they need to also do good work. But here they actually need to let go.
Hmm, letting go. Hmm,
Letting go
okay.
of yeah. of that of that control with our head, right?
Oh,
To really give
oh.
over to the.
Why do you believe that transformation begins in the subconscious?
Um, that's a good question. I don't think there's only transformation on a right? Because if I think 1 plus 1 is 3, and then today you tell me, oh no, 1 plus 1 is 2, then I'm gonna transform that and say, oh yeah, you're right, and I'm gonna transform what I'm thinking. So I think transformation is not exclusively or restricted to the subconscious, but the transformation of the subconscious is just very far reaching because it is transforming patterns that are usually way stronger than the theoretical patterns of thinking, of feeling, of believing, right? And that's why we have road rage, right? Or wars, really, because why would you, like, when it comes to road rage, right? Why would you get so enraged just because somebody took your space in a line of cars, right? And you get home maybe a minute later, right? So, because there's emotionally something is happening, right? Either it's like, oh, again, why can't I go first? I'm inferior. I must be inferior. Or don't they know who I am? Or I don't know, right? Or do they think I'm, um, you know? So there are certain beliefs that are saved and stored in the subconscious. And these are usually very deep beliefs that are very far reaching when
Yeah,
changed. So that's very powerful to have a transformation on that level, right? People often hold on to guilt, shame, and anxiety for so long, way after it's actually already, the issue is already over. And they just need to feel that somebody sits there with them and holds that space. So I think transformation is possible on every level, but it's just very powerful on a subconscious level
it is very
because it's
powerful
very, really.
on the subconscious level. Hmm. And it is possible on every level, but it's more powerful on the subconscious. I got that. So, Dr. Carolina, to bring this to an end, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who like to reach out to you,
Mhm. So, what I would like to leave the audience with is that transformation is really possible, like on every level. The way you live right now does not need to be the way to continue living if that's not an easy way for you to live or a comfortable way for you to live, right? There's real transformation possible in this life. As opposed to, a lot of religions say, afterlife or next life, or this is your karma for this life, and you just have that karma, right? There's way more power actually that we have, yeah, for our own body, with our own
okay,
mind, affected by the body, and vice versa. So that's I think the main thing I want to leave the audience with. And then if you want to reach out, you can just Google my name. That's Karoline, that's spelled Caroline with a K, Fischer, or you can go on my website. That's www.whyhypnotherapy.com. And Y is spelled WHY.
wonderful. So that's going to be the end of the show, Dr. Carolina. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing these awesome stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much.